Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, Blachowicz versus Santos. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the main card. So in our first fight on the main card, we have in the light heavyweight division, Magomed Ankalaev versus Kilton de Abreu. I'm pretty sure that's how his name's pronounced. I'm not too sure, but I'm just going to call him Abreu. But look at how these two fighters match up. Magomed Ankalaev, I think he has a little bit of a striking background, but definitely most prevalent in his skill set is his sambo background. And you got Abreu, more so jiu-jitsu. Most of his victories have, like I think 90% of his victories have come by submission. So you got a sambo practitioner versus a submission person. I mean a BJJ practitioner, not a submission person, but a BJJ practitioner. I think Ankalaev is more well-rounded. I think his striking is more composed, more clean. But Abreu's nobody to be slept on the feet either. He can rush you pretty well, and he can mix his striking pretty well. And it looks pretty natural. It don't look like he's like one of the jiu-jitsu people that don't have any bit of striking training. Like he does have some striking with him. It might not be high level, but it works, and it allows him to get in on these takedowns. But I think that would be difficult against Ankalaev, who has such good hips, such good, understanding of grappling. And several people are pretty much like just a variation of wrestling, in my opinion. Like they had a lot of the same attributes. They're real good at defending takedowns and dictating where the fight goes. That's pretty much where I'm trying to go with this, and that Ankalaev will be the one dictating where the fight goes. I think he's a more composed striker, and like I said, he'll have the key to whether the fight goes to the ground or not. Yes, Abreu can be aggressive, and yes, his aggression is pretty effective, but against a guy who's pretty good at controlling the distance and so powerful and such strong hips and that sambo background, that top-level sambo background, I think he'll be able to keep on the feet and dictate whether he wants to take it down or keep it on the feet. I think he'll more so keep it on the feet, knowing that he'll have a slight advantage on the feet. And I think he'll take full advantage of that and keep it on the feet and maybe mix some takedowns here and there, but not play on the ground with him too much and risking his submit as he did in that Paul Craig fight. But more so just trying to fully take advantage of any advantage he could have on the feet and wear him on the feet before he even thinks about taking him to the ground. But more so, I feel this fight will play out mostly on the feet with limited grappling. And I see him picking him apart on the feet, keeping it on the feet, and picking him apart on the feet. And I see him stopping him in the second round. So in this fight, I got Magomed Ankalaev via second round TKO. Now on to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, John Dodson versus Peter Yan. So you got a hot prospect in Peter Yan, young, dangerous, deadly, all of that. Can be very dangerous for the division, can go on and do great things. But now he's coming against his toughest test yet by far in John Dodson, who fought for the flyweight title twice, knocked out TJ Dillashaw, was one of the Ultimate Fighter winners. So a lot of compliments on John Dodson's side, and even at this point, he's still a very dangerous person in this division. He's fought some very close fights that can win either way with, the cream of the crop, even the hottest fighter in this division right now, and Marlon Moraes fought him to a very close fight, dropped him in the first round. So John Dodson's still nobody to play with. So this is a very huge leap in competition for Peter Yan. I think with Peter Yan, once he starts going, he's hard to beat. And I think if he gets off and starts going and he sets the pace, then I think this is his fight to win. But I think John Dodson's experience and his speed and his power is going to be what's going to shift that. Like his experience is going to not allow Peter Yan to really get into his gear. So if John Dodson comes in there composed and not, injured or mentally not there and is fully there, I think he'll be able to, maintain the pace and not allow Peter Yan to get into his boxing range or his range where he can mix in these combinations. Fighting in John Dodson's fight, he's still the more explosive fighter, still the fast fighter. I think he's pretty much the most explosive fighter maybe in the UFC. He might be the most explosive fighter in UFC. I'm not saying that's the fastest, but when he explodes, he might be, in that little seconds he explodes, he might be the fastest fighter in the UFC. So, most explosive fighter in UFC, in my opinion. I think he could use that to his advantage with his experience to really not allow Peter Yan to get into his range where he can start chaining combos, chaining elbows, and really set up his rhythm. I think John Dodson will do a great job with that experience and that speed, like I said, that explosiveness to offset his rhythm and not allow Peter Yan to get that volume up. But if Peter Yan gets that volume off, I think this will be his fight. But I think John Dodson will try to prevent that as best he can. And like I said, use what he has, his tools to exploit that and negate that, throw it off. And it's really pick him apart, going in and out. It still will be a competitive fight. I don't think Peter Yan's going to lay down for him. I think he will be trying to have his moment. But I think John Dodson, when he sees it happening, he'll offset it and get it back to his own rhythm. And make it a very rough fight for Peter Yan. It'll be a rough fight for John Dodson as well. But I think the experience and how the skills match up, I think John Dodson will be able to exploit what he sees in Peter Yan, or at least negate the strengths of Peter Yan in this fight. But I see John Dodson going on his bike a bit in this fight and, trying to more so dart it in and out and not allowing kind of back and forth exchanges, but more so, kind of point fight him a bit. Not really point fight him, but in typical John Dodson's fight, fashion, dip in, dip out, land big shots, try to not get hit, try to knock the opponent out with these big explosive blitzes and stuff at times. But I think Peter Yan won't get knocked out in this fight. I think John Dotson's going more so just going to beat him by decision. So in this fight, I got John Dodson via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the women's flyweight division, Liz Carmouche versus Lucy Pudilova. So Pudilova is the younger fighter by 10 years. She's a taller fighter by 2 inches. And I think she does way more, her value is much higher than, or her output is much higher than Carmouche's. I think that's a kind of a weakness of Carmouche. She doesn't really do the highest output most often. I think she's only thrown a lot. Let me never go over there, but I think, but pretty much on average, Carmouche doesn't throw too many strikes. And then when she fights taller fighters, she either gets outstruck or she goes to her grappling and she tries to wrestle them, try to outmuscle them, try to, just take away the height with grappling. And Pudilova has a high takedown defense. Yes, she hasn't fought the level of competition that Carmouche is. Yet this is her highest level opponent yet, by far. But I think there's just so much tape out there on Carmouche at this point. And Pudilova being a much younger fighter, there's so much room for her to grow. And I think she's going to at least have a blueprint laid out there for her so she knows what to expect from Carmouche, but Carmouche doesn't fully know what to expect from Pudilova. And that's going to be a huge factor in this fight with that height and that reach, which can cause difficulties for Carmouche. I think she'll use that height, use that reach to keep their distance, pack the volume on Carmouche, effectively defend those takedowns, most of those takedowns, and not really allow Carmouche to fight her game. And like I said, I think it's the age. Yes, experience is nice, but sometimes at this point when the tape is so much tape out of you, you got a young fighter, a young, hungry fighter like Pudilova, they'll just read your tape. I mean, look at your tape and got so much, pretty much already know what you fight like and expect what you're going to do. I think at this point, I think Pudilova keeps on the feet for the most part. And she might give up 1 or 2 takedowns, but she's not going to allow Carmouche to fight her fight, but use that reach, pick her apart from the outside, and just really outpoint Carmouche, landing a lot of volume and putting Carmouche behind on the scorecard, but probably winning a pretty close, gritty type of decision. And probably a career-defining victory for Pudilova, the young fighter. So in this fight, I got Lucy Pudilova via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the light heavyweight division, Gian Villante versus Mikhail Olek. I'm not going to say his full last name. I can't even say that. I probably slob trying to say his name, but his name is Mikhail Olek, so I'm going to call him Olek. So looking at this fight, Gian Villante, you know what he brings. He's big, he's physically strong, he can wrestle, but I think he can keep the pace up. Like I think he did it one time against Fabio Maldonado, but ended up gassing out and just getting boxed up. And he might did it in 1 or 2 more fights, but he really doesn't mix in wrestling too much and can't really maintain that pace. So what's more so with Gian Villante, he can defend takedowns pretty well, he hits pretty hard, doesn't throw the most volume, he doesn't make the smartest decisions in fights. And you got Mikhail Olek, he'll throw a whole lot of shots, a whole lot of strikes, a lot of volume, and he's durable. So I think with that style matchup, I think he'll at least be able to keep him in the field. I think Villante is going to try to take him down too much or have too much success with the grappling. So it's going to be a striking match in my opinion. The power and experience will be on Villante's side, but I think Mikhail Olek, he fought Khalil Roundtree, who I think hits harder than Villante. And I think he just really outworked him in that fight, kind of wore him out and outworked him. I don't think it's going to be as easy as that fight because Gian Villante won't get as tired as Khalil Roundtree, or at least has more experience against higher level competition. I say he's a little bit better than Khalil Roundtree. But I think kind of similar thing. I think he will outwork Villante. I think Villante just work rate isn't the highest. His fight IQ isn't the highest. And he makes some poor decisions in fights. I think Mikhail Olek is a more composed striker. He does more volume. Like I said, it's going to be on the feet. So you could take it. You got a good chin to take those shots if you do have to take those shots. And you're going to outwork him and throw more strikes than him. And you got a little bit of a higher fight IQ than him. And I don't think he's going to lose anything by, he just failed a drug test. So all of a sudden he's not going to be the same fighter he was when he entered the UFC. I think he's most likely going to be around the same fighter he was that fought Khalil Roundtree. And I think he really just going to outwork Gian Villante in this fight. I don't think he's going to knock him out or anything, but I think he's just going to outwork him, use his footwork to avoid the power and just throw more volume and just outsmart Villante to a decision. So in this fight, I got Mikhail Olek via decision. Now to our co-main event, we have in the heavyweight division, Stefan Struve versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. So this really will be an easy fight if Stefan Struve fought how he should fight. But knowing Stefan Struve, he's going to make this a hard fight, and he's probably going to make this a losing fight. He has all the reach. He has some grappling and some pretty solid grappling, but he's not going to really use his jab. He's not going to take advantage of trying to wear de Lima down, who has kind of a weak gas tank for the most part, and like wear him down with the distance, jab him up, and keep him at bay. You got like more than a foot over him in height, or maybe, matter of fact, close to a foot over him in height, but he's not going to use that height. He's going to allow the big, strong, heavy hitting and Marcos Rogerio de Lima to get in inside, land big shots, probably even take him down, lay in his guard, and beat on him. That's probably what Stefan Struve is going to do. He's not going to really fight how he should fight. And also maybe looking back the past 3 losses or whatever losing streak Stefan Struve is currently riding, you might say, oh, he's only lost to bums or he loses to everybody. But actually, they aren't really the worst level of competition. Like he lost to Tybura, Arlovsky, and I'm forgetting who else he lost to. But he lost to and Volkov. That's really not even that bad a loss. So he didn't really lose to too many bad people. I mean, he really didn't lose to anybody bad at all. But still, the way he's losing, she shouldn't be losing. Like some ways he just kind of doesn't use what his tools he has. And some of these fights, like the Arlovsky fight, he should have won. The Tybura fight, he should have won. Volkov fight, really not really saying, because now you're fighting another fight that's pretty tall. Maybe still not as tall as you, but whatever the case. Stefan Struve doesn't use his tools right. I just think Marcos Rogerio de Lima, he's going to allow Rogerio de Lima to get in the inside, land big shots, take him down and bully him. And just bully him all around the cage and stop him in the second round. So in this fight, I got Marcos Rogerio de Lima via second round submission. Now on to our main event we have in the light heavyweight division, Jan Blachowicz versus Thiago Santos. 2 fighters riding hot streaks. Jan Blachowicz finally finding his steam in the division after going winning up and down in his earlier parts of his career in the UFC. Now he's finally got his stride. You got Thiago Santos riding yet another stride in his career. He has his ups and downs. He goes on 3 fight losing streaks, then he loses, or 4 fight winning streaks. Now he's up at the light heavyweight division. He's on a 3 fight winning streak, so he's doing pretty well for himself. So a fight where both fighters are doing pretty well for themselves and they're trying to find their ways to a title shot. But how do these fighters actually match up? You got Jan Blachowicz, who's more composed. He's not going to really engage in the brawls that are maybe in exchange that Thiago Santos needs to happen so that he can land those big shots and exploit his power advantage that he has in his fight. Jan Blachowicz really likes to fight on the outside. He doesn't really like to get in these brawls where he's on the inside, but he does have a good chin. He's been in there with some heavy hitters, and he hasn't been, I think, only been TKO'd once in his career, and that was basically 10 years ago now. So he's really been in there with Gustafsson, been in there with Munua, been in there with Irla Latif. So he's been in there with some heavy hitters, and you really rarely seen him truly rocked. And also Cannonier. So he's been in with a bunch of heavy hitters. Pretty much every fight he's been in there with a heavy hitter. And really the most of the reason he lost in his fights is because he's either been slightly slightly outstruck or wrestled. So you look at his UFC career, it's been out wrestled or slightly outstruck one time. So you can't really say his weakness is somebody like Thiago Santos. But Thiago Santos' power is the ultimate equalizer. He can knock anyone out no matter how good your chin is or how durable you are. And so he'll have the speed, he'll have the power, in my opinion. But I think Jan Blachowicz is a little bit more composed on the feet. He doesn't really fight to Thiago Santos' game like maybe Manu or some of the other people forward, where they kind of in his range and allow him to just outwork them. Not even outwork them, just outfight them, really. Just get in that range and be faster than them, hitting harder than them, landing the cleaner shots. I think Jan Blachowicz will kind of put the blanket over his fire in a way, or put the lid over his candle. That's I think how his style or his approach will be to this. And Thiago Santos, one of his weakness is his grappling. Even though it might not be as bad as it might seem, we look at most of his losses either come to getting pretty much caught or submitted. Somebody take him down and submit him. That's about it. Either caught or submitted. So I think half his losses came to submission, and then half of them came to one of those fights. He got his last loss. He got caught. Somebody when he got submitted. The Masazi fight, he just got dogged. Masazi just outclassed him, but more so submission. And that's off the point. So as far as where I'm leading to now is with the Jan Blachowicz thing is one of the most important factors of Jan Blachowicz resurgence, but his finding his stride in this division is that he's gotten more to his grappling now. He's not just a striker. He's more so implementing his grappling. And 2 of his 4 wins on this 4 fight winning streak have come by submission. And that's one of Thiago Santos' weaknesses. And Jan Blachowicz's grappling has been looking good. His takedown's been looking good. Unless he goes against a high-level wrestler or just a high-level opponent in general that's has some solid grappling like Gustafsson. But when you look at Cummins and what's his name? Anderson, those are real high-level wrestlers. Maybe those aren't really the only people that have success with wrestling. Other people can't really wrestle him. He's out-wrestling most people. And I think he could do the same to Thiago Santos. I think he's going to not going to play in Thiago Santos' games. And he could definitely take Thiago Santos' punches and his kicks. Not going to want to. And he can't trade with him. He's not going to play with fire too much. I think he try to, fights at distance. Try to make it a point fighting match in a way. Try to slow down the pace of Thiago Santos, even though that's going to be hard to do. And I think he mixes in takedowns. And also another thing I saw with Thiago Santos is that when you get in the clinch, he kind of had really no real tools there, so you can mix in and land open shots. I think even Jimmy Manua landed some open shots from the clinch. It really Thiago Santos really knows break points. In the Masazi fight, Masazi took him down, waited for him to get up, then knocked him out. And in the Jimmy Manua fight, even though he won that fight, when Jimmy Manua had him in the clinch and broke free, was he leaves openings there. I think Jan Blachowicz will take advantage of a lot of these things, like the breaking of the clinch, the breaking of grappling exchanges, and even on the grappling, take him down. I think he's a much better grappler. and he fights much smarter. He's not going to engage in the brawls or in exchanges that, like the reckless abandonment that Thiago Santos wants. He will be ready for it, but I don't think he's going to engage in it too much, not give Thiago Santos that chance, especially with him finally riding his streak and really gaining his moment. He's not going to give up that momentum in his career so easily. So he's going to fight smart, I think, against Thiago Santos, take away his tools. Still going to be a exciting fight. So Thiago Santos fights at the end of the day, and Blachowicz is a exciting fight as well. So it's going to be a exciting fight, but I think Jan Blachowicz his goal is going to be to neutralize his tools, take away his weapons, and make it hard for Thiago Santos. I think he's going, like I said, fight at a distance, so take away some of that power, and then he's going to, when he gets close, go for those takedowns, initiate some clinches. I think eventually just wear him down, suck the power out of him, suck that strength, suck that explosion out of him, and then I see a third round submission in this fight. Like, wear him down, make him work, initiate some grappling, take that pop out of him, take that kick, take that power, take that, all that stuff out of him, and then submit him. So in this fight, I got Jan Blachowicz via third round submission. And that concludes my fight predictions for UFC on ESPN Plus, Blachowicz versus Santos. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.